Welcome to, I think it's like episode 4 or something of the mix now. Our producer back there, he's giving us bad cues. We don't know what's going on, but it's kind of a special episode of the mix. We've actually had an incredibly busy week, so we've been slacking a little bit, but we also strategically placed this because we have Chris, the first ever special guest to visit.
We do.
Man, visiting our set, a little bit surprised.
Just to take the pressure off of us a little bit.
Yeah, because we're not we're a party in and of ourselves.
I know I know this looks like a professional thing that we're doing, but
yeah,
there's a lot of pressure involved in it.
Yeah, and Chris, we didn't plan this at all, but I'm actually wearing the Bloodhound Barbecue t-shirt, which wrapped up this past Friday night. We had a ton of great helping out with Bloodhound Barbecue, so thank you guys for checking that out. We really, really do appreciate it. But real quick, we got to get into some big stuff. But Chris, I want to talk about, because Sunday we had some special elements involved. We had balloons, we had all kinds of stuff. So what happened Sunday?
Well, a couple of different elements. First of all, we started out with our kind of to introduce the sermon. JJ had actually written a little script kind of to share with everybody a story, just a modern day telling of the prodigal, and it was tremendous. It was really powerful, and I think a lot of people were impacted by that. And then to kind of finish up, to wrap up, our call to action as far as wrapping up with the series was to encourage people to come get a balloon if God had done something in their life during this series that was significant enough that they needed to be reminded of it. And so that was really powerful too. We weren't really sure how that would go, and I was pleased to see. It seems like God really did some powerful things in people's lives through this whole series, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. We've heard a lot of just great comments. A lot of people really kind of reconnecting or connecting for the first time. That's really cool. Thank you for those who did respond. It was really powerful. Again, we weren't sure how that would go, but had some great responses and really just a great conversation. I know, Chris, you even mentioned someone that, like, if we could just do that series all over again, there's so much to learn, and I think there's value and there's power in that. We got some other heavy stuff to get to, but Chris, it's time for the lighter side of our time.
It is the lighter side.
We've been working on something for...
We have. We've asked you guys to submit some suggestions for the nickname for our executive producer, Josh Willis.
Yeah, just for the show. We can't call him this all the time.
Right.
This is just when he's actually in the executive producer role.
Okay. Because, I'm planning on calling him that all the time. I don't know. That was just my,
That's fine, too. Mr. Snuggles. We like that one. Someone submitted Mr. Snuggles. We said that probably is not going to win.
Yeah, we didn't feel good about
close
that
second so far. Close second.
But here's the top one right now, because any good nickname has a story.
That's right.
It. So I got to tell the story a little bit. JJ and I, I guess it was, a few months ago, we were trying out a new restaurant, as we often do.
That's true. We do like good food.
That's right. And to be honest, like, it's right out of my head, like, what the name of this place is. SNL, exactly. SNL in Lakeland, over off Cumbie Road, by the way. Best burgers.
If you want to sponsor our show, we're mentioning you on air. Just want to mention that.
But make sure if you go, take cash, because you got to have cash. But anyway, Josh and the two of us and somebody else was there, and this was really, Josh was really pretty new. This was a while ago, though, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Okay, it's more than a few months.
It was probably
because Josh was only like a couple. He had only been here a couple months.
But by the way, on a side note, one of our RPCers, Emmanuel and actually Ron Hartman, both the ones that told us about SNL, said you got to try it. Best burger in Polk County. It's pretty good.
And I know the Southeastern guys, the guys that all work at Southeastern, that go to church here, they vouch for it too. So anyway, so we're there, and we're ordering our burgers, and it's kind of I love the atmosphere, a lot of great signs, but if you read some of the signs, it kind of indicates that they're not really into the whole idea that the customer's always right.
That's true.
I think they probably, maybe it's half and half for them. Sometimes they're right, sometimes the customer's right. So I don't know if Josh didn't read the signs or whatever, or he just didn't care.
He thinks he
but Josh proceeds to, everybody else is ordered regular right off the menu.
Right.
All of a sudden, Josh, kind of, it almost seemed like on a whim. Like, he had ordered, and then, like, oh, wait a minute. he says, "Hey, can you put a fried egg on that?" And like we were kind of embarrassed. I mean, it's like, and the girl said, she kind of looked at him funny, and she's like, "Well, sometimes she will, and sometimes she won't."
Legitimately, that's how it worked out.
That is legitimately what she said. Like, it kind of depends on what kind of mood the cook is in. And so, luckily, Josh was, she was in a good mood that day, and she took care of Josh.
He got his
but
egg.
ever since then, I like the name Fried Egg, but to be honest, I think it a little better if we just call him Over Easy.
Over Easy. So as of right now, unless we got something better, our
Right.
producer's name is Over Easy.
But we do look forward. Comment. Let us know if you've got a better name, because we'd like to hear that.
So this is the moment in the show that we've been anticipating.
Right.
We've been waiting for.
Yeah, and I know the person's been anticipating it too,
Yeah, that's for sure.
because she didn't realize how long she was going to have to be there.
So with that being said, Chris, why don't you introduce our special guest for today?
All right, Tanya Keene.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. All right.
She didn't realize how long we were going to talk and how long she had to be down there. So, all right.
She's acting like we're on the Ellen show and she's going to come up and scare us.
Yeah.
But we knew she was there, so it
Yeah,
wasn't really.
yeah.
But we got some exciting stuff happening up for RPC, coming up for RPC Kids. So,
Sure do.
Chris, why don't you start asking
All
some
right.
questions
Well,
about
tell
it?
us about the first thing, the thing that's right around the corner.
Okay, the thing that's right around the corner is our trunk or treat, and we are still looking for volunteers who want to host a trunk. We also are looking for candy still, people who want to donate candy for us to be able to pass out. The biggest thing right now is trunks. If you are planning on having a trunk and you haven't told me, please let me know.
Exactly. Don't just assume that you're going to come here and put your trunk out there. And I mean, we'll probably let you, but please let Tanya know so she can plan for where you're going to be. Don't just assume that, just show up. Let Tanya know if you're going to bring your trunk, okay?
And we need some serious competition this year because this is big time. We have a special guest judge that's going to come and evaluate the trunks. And so go all out, have fun with this. Like I mentioned before, I think we had close to 1,000 people come through last year. That's a lot of people, so we need more trunks.
Yes.
I have heard a rumor that there's one trunk that's so good that you might not even be able to see it. I don't know. I've heard that.
That's
I don't know. Like, I don't know, some kind of camouflage, or I don't know.
We'll have to wait
It's
to see.
weird.
I'm
You might just have to
excited.
come out for that.
I'm excited to find out what that's all about. And then obviously bring your kids out as well, but we'd love for you to have some trunks.
And
Did
invite
we
people.
give the times?
Oh, no. It is 6:30 to 7:30 for a trunk or treat. And just let your friends, family, everyone in your neighborhoods, let them know about trunk or treat because it's opened up to everyone. So not just to church people, but to everybody.
Okay.
So
Now, tell us a little bit about we actually have an elementary small group that meets on Wednesday evenings. Got a little bit of a late start this year because of the hurricane and all that stuff. But tell us a little bit about what goes on Wednesday night and why their kids need to be here.
Wednesday night small group is just a great time for us to connect with the kids. Just more in their age appropriate groups. We break up into small groups. They get to do a worship time, but it gives us as volunteers, as leaders, just a great time for them to connect, to grow and to learn about Jesus and how to have a relationship with Jesus, but also to build relationships amongst each other. And that's a great thing for them, especially at school. Kids struggle with not having friends at school. Kids struggle with problems at home, and they need to have other relationships between their small group leaders and with friends that they can open up and talk about those circumstances.
Cool. All right. Well, and then right around the corner we have another event that we do usually twice a year, our child dedication. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so child dedication is coming up November the 12th at 5 o'clock. This is where we like to partner with our parents to allow you to say, you know what, I want to stand up and I want everyone to know that as a family, we're going to raise our child to follow Jesus and to teach them the ways of how to follow Jesus.
Right. And it's not a baptism or a christening or anything like that. It's just the parents basically standing in front of their church and their friends and saying, listen, I want to make sure that I raise my kid in this way. And
That's
so
right.
It's a powerful ceremony. It's an opportunity to just kind of make that public declaration.
And one of the things about that is a lot of people think when they think about it, think of a baby dedication. But we've had children. Sometimes people are unchurched. They start coming to church. They say, well, from now on, I will raise my children in that godly environment. So it isn't just for babies. If you've never dedicated your child, it's a biblical principle. So we'd love for you to join us. Message Tanya at richpointchurch.org if you want to find out more about that. But child dedication coming up very quickly.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, Tanya?
Nope, that's it.
That's
All
it.
right.
Good in the kids area.
All right, Tanya's heading out. Everybody give it up for Tanya Keene. Man, I was waiting for our sound effects.
Yeah, I know.
I guess you only get those once.
Over Easy's just not living up to his job today.
He was over there doing some other, probably some technical stuff that we don't know what he's doing. So, but yeah. So anyway, Chris, that was really cool. Tanya, thank you for joining us. So, Chris, we also this past week wrapped up the series. Obviously, we talked about that a little bit.
So, yeah, we wrapped up Finding Your Way Back to God. And, one of kind of the main points that you made in kind of wrapping up this week is you talked a little bit about this idea of celebrating in public and then also appreciating in private. So, tell us a little bit about that. But of those two, like, what do you think is the most important?
Sure. Basically, the idea is that as the son returns home and the father's waiting for him, he throws a party. He says, let's celebrate, let's eat. Because behind every good celebration, if we're going to celebrate publicly, food has to be involved, Chris. And so he throws a celebration, and so he does that, but also appreciation happens in private. And the kind of the big idea was on our journey home, we're never walking alone. And we want to surround ourselves with people who are really pivotal for us, who are important to us. And sometimes that's a massive group of people. Sometimes people's personalities are different. That's a few people. But the celebration happens in those public settings where we're surrounded by other people. Appreciation often happens in private. I said speculating. The Bible doesn't say this, but there probably some point during the celebration, he looked over at his dad and said, "Dad, I just want to let you know I appreciate this." And both of those things are valuable. And I wouldn't say that one is more important than the other, or even one is deeper than the other. Initially, I would think, well, the appreciation one's probably a little bit deeper. The first one, there's a lot of people. It's a mile wide, but maybe it's not as deep. But the thing I love about public celebrations, especially for something like this, is it provides built-in accountability. If I make a decision, if I graduate, if I get married, I'm surrounding myself with people who are part of that process. And if I go and I graduate and I do nothing with that, or if I go and I get married and I'm not trying to be the best husband I can be, there are people who are there and say, wait a minute, I was there when you did that. And so it provides a forum for open accountability. So the public celebration is probably a little bit wider, but there's depth in it, and that it provides that accountability. The appreciation is deep just because it's saying, Dad, I love the fanfare. I love the celebration. But I also want to let you know that I love you. Like I have a genuine appreciation for who you are and for what you've done. And I think that sometimes in our celebration, our Christian life, we tend to focus on the first one. We make a public decision to follow Christ, and there's fanfare. We make a decision to get baptized, and everyone's taking pictures, and I got the T-shirt. But day to day, this past week, there's been a lot of challenges along the way. I shared this a little bit, but on Saturday night, it had been a long night, and then Sunday morning I came in, and the band just did such a tremendous job in leading us for worship. And it was in that moment right before I got up to kind of do the modern day parable thing that I was like, God, I appreciate what you're doing and who you are. Before the public stuff that I was about to do, that just this private appreciation. So both of those are really essential.
Okay. So we not to complain or anything, JJ, but
because I never mess up.
You kind of left out a big part of the message. Each week we've kind of talked about this prayer that we pray to kind of follow up, and we kind of missed out on getting to that this week. So tell us what that prayer is, and as we wrap this up.
You got to try really hard to mess up twice. And the thing was, it was in my notes, and whoever follows me on the computer had it up there. And for whatever reason, it just didn't even dawn on me. And then it was when I woke up Monday morning, I'm like, I never mentioned a prayer in either service, So if you're doing the study, you already heard it in group, I'm sure. Or if you've been kind of doing the study on your own, you hopefully have been praying this prayer. But the prayer is, God, if you're real, Make yourself real to me. There's nothing new about that. That's what we're praying every week. But the difference in this one is an awaken in me the confidence that I can live a brand new life.
Right.
And that's open to every one of us. That because of our story as all prodigal sons and prodigal daughters, that we're invited home. And that once we come home, our Father isn't holding our past against us. There's no past grudges. But that literally you're awakening in me the possibility that I can now have this brand new life.
Right.
So I missed that one. Sorry about that. But that was the prayer for this week.
By the way, if you miss any of the series or somewhere along the way you missed something, you can always catch up with us if you go to the website, to richpointchurch.org, and you go to the listen section. All of the sermons from this series and previous series are there. You can actually listen to them there. But at the top of that page, there's also a link to our YouTube page. And if you go to our YouTube page, there's actually a playlist that just has these sermons. It has the full sermons. It has clips from each sermon. So you can, by all means, catch up there. But that's all good. It's all up to date. You can totally catch up with us right there.
Great stuff there. So, Chris, we wrapped up Finding Your Way Back to God.
Right.
But we're not done. We have a lot of stuff that's coming up both in church and in group.
Exactly. We're doing something a little bit different this fall with our groups. Typically, we do this fall groups campaign, and then we kind of turn the groups loose and let them kind of do their own thing. And this year, we actually had the idea to kind of go ahead and give them something else to do after the campaign as well, something that we could do together. And we're actually gonna do it somewhat as a series. It's actually we're kind of going at it from two different angles. In church, we're going to start a brand new series this Sunday called I Can Handle It, and it'll go for 3 weeks, and it's designed to kind of kick off what we're going to be talking about in groups. You know, it's not going to go the whole time that our group series is going to go on, but it's going to kind of kick off the idea, get us kind of motivated along those lines, and then ultimately kind of play into what we're going to be discussing in groups. In groups, the series is called Goliath Must Fall. Goliath Must Fall. And it's actually, it was written by a pastor out of Atlanta named Louis Giglio. If you're familiar with Passion or Passion City Church, he's the pastor there, and he's been involved in all of that. And this is his latest study. It's a great study, obviously looking at the story of David and Goliath, but looking at it from probably a little different perspective than what we're used to. At least I know the way I always heard the story growing up, and the perspective in it, it's definitely a different perspective. And so he talks about these giants that we have in our life, and that ultimately these giants have to fall. And it's not going to be us that's going to make them fall. It's going to be Jesus. And so anyway, we're going to be in the groups. We'll be using the study guides. We'll have those available this Sunday at church. They're $10, and it has all the questions and stuff that we'll be using. It has some of the reading that goes along with it. And then we'll also be in our groups using videos, much like we did with Finding Your Way Back to God. We actually also have a few copies of the book as well. If you want to get the book, you don't have to. We're not necessarily going to use that in the groups, but we'll have a few copies of those. Those are $10 as well if you want to do that. But I think it's going to be, really of the two series, this to me is the most powerful of the two. But just the way everything worked out, it was better for us to do it
absolutely.
at this time. And I think it's going to be another powerful thing that our people are going to find an opportunity to really connect with God through this. So
Definitely.
I'm excited about it.
That's right. I Can Handle It kicks off this coming Sunday. Then if you're in group,
and if you're not in group, this is a great opportunity for you to go ahead and get in group.
Man.
I mean, we've got a lot of groups that are full, but we've got a lot of groups that have room in them. And so you can go to rpcgroups.org and you can kind of look through what's available there. Find a location that works for you. Find a time that works for you, and we would love to get you connected, even at this point in the game, because we're starting a brand new series.
That's right.
It's a good time to get started.
Just last night, a new family joined a group and
Exactly.
had just an incredible time. So if you're not in group, we'd love to have you join group. I Can Handle It All kicking off this coming Sunday.
All right.
All right. Hey, thanks for checking out The Mix. We come at you most every week on Monday. This week was on Wednesday. So make sure you check it out next week. We'll probably be back to our regular scheduled time. But definitely don't forget to see us this coming Sunday morning, 9 and 10:45.
All right. See you.
Bye.